morning. I realized a few days ago that I don't remember the last time I filmed a reading vlog. It's been a while, so I'm gonna do one for Rebecca. Oh, this book has a bit of marks on it. Yeah, because I thought it would be fun to record my reactions to this and see how I fall in the ranks of Rebecca lovers all over BookTube. So here we go. And I actually have to get this back to the library in a week and 3 days. So let's see if I can read it that fast. I don't know if I can. I have a very busy week, but I'm gonna try, and I might have to go over a little bit, but it's on hold with the library, so I can't renew it. So let's see how fast I can get through this, and you're gonna come along with me.
$1 million outside of their primary residence. And they asked these people, how did you get to where you are? And one of the things they did was they asked them to rank some principles in terms of how important they were to getting to where they are today.
Good morning. All right, I am, how far? I am 134 pages into Rebecca. So, I'm finding reading this to be really fun and entertaining. The amount of atmosphere in this novel is kind of off the charts. And I understand why. I think that it's got this great eeriness to it and this vulnerability in your narrator that pulls you through this world, and you feel like there's another shoe just waiting to drop somewhere. So the revealing of Rebecca and who she was is very mysterious, and then Maxim being so withdrawn and quiet and, internal is really interesting as well. I think the nature writing in this book is quite strong. It's very descriptive. I guess it's kind of pulling from that Gothic sensibility of describing the landscape with trying to bring in these menacing and then peaceful aspects of the landscape that work together. And then obviously having Manderley itself, the house, be a character is quite interesting too. So I have to say, I'm enjoying it. I feel the pressure to get this book done because it's due at the library on November 3rd. Today is October 31st. And it's on hold, so if I don't give it, I don't think I will get it back on time, and I feel bad for whoever's waiting for it, but I'm gonna push through and try to finish it this week, basically. And I think it's doable. I think I've got enough time to get through it. I can't say, I think for me at this stage, the characters, I care about the main character. I want her to succeed. She's not easy to like. She's so docile, and the way that she keeps comparing herself to the dog is true but kind of infuriating. So I like her in a way, but I don't feel, I'm not in her corner. I'm not emotionally connected to her. So I do hope that I become emotionally connected to the characters, because that always, makes my reading experience, better. I just am an emotional reader. I want that connection to the characters. And if I don't have it, I can definitely appreciate a book and like it, but I can't, it's not a book I love. So because Rebecca is so beloved, I know also several of people that I have followed in the past that don't like it though. So I think there's a twist. I'm not at the twist yet, obviously. So once I get to the twist, maybe that will, make some big shift in my experience of reading it too. So that's where I am so far, and I will check in again once I've hit 200. Hi everybody. So I am 246 pages into Rebecca, and I'm still liking it. It is, there are some moments where I feel so bad for the main character, and then there are moments where I don't understand her. And I feel like the haunting nature of Rebecca's memory is a fascinating part of the story. The naivete of the character and her inability to kind of read other people is really interesting. And then this kind of haunting way that she has of imagining the future and imagining the past, and her like growing obsession with Rebecca is also very eerie and entertaining to read. So I think those are my thoughts thus far. I can't really think of anything else that is sticking out to me about it. I feel like there's supposed to be some sort of a twist, and now I'm wondering if I've read the twist, like I don't know. If you haven't read the book, then maybe you shouldn't watch this vlog. I don't know. I don't want to reveal anything that's supposed to be the twist, but when she finds the room all set up, and I was like, is this the climax? When we, when Mrs. Danvers' evil is revealed, or like, am I about to hit the climax somewhere, or is the party the climax when she's wearing the dress? I don't know. So I like this kind of not knowing what is supposed to be the, reveal moment of the story yet. And yeah, I will check in again when I have gotten to, I guess, to 300, or because I'm over halfway. So let's see, 300, and then yeah, I guess I'll check in around 300 or so, maybe 325, 330, and then give you my final thoughts once I'm done. Okay, so I know what the twist is. And I was sort of surprised. I'm talking about, yes, I was sort of surprised, but also not that surprised, I guess, because so was it obvious that it was going to happen? No. Was I super surprised? No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I may save the rest of my thoughts on the twist in this book for later. Obviously, it's a rather problematic situation, and you comparing this to today standards, like 1938. It was published in 1938. So yeah, things were different back then when you were reading a Gothic romance. And now, after the twist, I think that I understand the comparison of this being compared to Jane Eyre and having a connection to Jane Eyre. I get it. Or being inspired by Jane Eyre, or like a modern retelling. I mean, it's not the exact same story, but I like, you know, how she did it. I mean, so I've got, I think, 100 pages left of the story, and I'm curious to see how this wraps up, because there's a lot that could happen, and I'm wondering, like, I think there could have been a couple different possibilities of ways that this could have gone. So I'm just, yeah, I'm still very intrigued by it. I do think it's a good book. I do. I think, you know, for a lot of intensive purposes, reading a book like this, it's good for what it is. There's a lot, yeah. Anyway, final thoughts coming soon. Hey everyone, I just finished Rebecca, and I really enjoyed it. There's an afterword in this version written by Sally Bowman, and I think that reading that was really helpful for me, because there were, I think, inevitably, the first time you read something, you may miss a few details or a few of the nuances that other people who study literature and, you know, really delve into a work are going to pick up. So that was really great to read a few of those details. There's so many things about it that were, you know, on some levels problematic, and, you know, were symptoms of the time period in which she was writing and living. But I think that the way that it was parallel to Jane Eyre was actually quite interesting, and I loved those reflections, and I thought they brought out some fun shadows that added to the experience of reading in general. And to know that the way she played the story out and dragged you through these twists and turns, I thought was very clever, and just showed her skill as a writer. And yes, there's a lot of bleakness to it at the end, and it surprises me that it is so popular with how bleak the ending is, because ultimately you do want someone to be happy, and there's this perceived sense that there's going to be happiness, and happiness doesn't really materialize for anyone. So yeah, yeah, I thought it was really good, and I gave it 4 stars. It's not a 5-star read for me, because you have to get me emotionally to get a 5-star for me in fiction, and I was certainly wrapped up in the story and rooting for characters, but I was also very conflicted about the characters, because when you start having them revealed who they truly are and their motives coming through, then it's hard to love them and be as connected to them as you would be if they were a bit less sinister, or a bit less in the second Mrs. De Winter's case, a bit less of a passive character. But I certainly, it made me smile. It made me, it gave me it was it kind of reminds me of the feeling I had when I read John Boyne's A Ladder to the Sky, which a lot of people feel conflicted on that book as well, because some people love it and some people love how sinister the character was, and then some people are like, oh, he was just so bad. And some people, it's fun sometimes to love bad characters, and I think in this case, I mean, you kind of love Rebecca, like you kind of love how evil she is, but then is she evil, or was she like, was who she was just being judged? And there's so many layers. I think that's something that I really appreciate about Rebecca, is that there's all these layers to class and expectations and time periods, and who's good and who's bad, and who's you know, true and who's lying, and you're just wrapped up in the complexity of all these different layers, right until the end. And even at the end, I think like the ending was good. I really love that ending. I think that it's one of those, I love that the characters have these senses of foreboding, and you're like, no, everything will be fine, but then it's not fine. Yeah, it was very masterfully done, I think, and I definitely will read more of du Maurier's work. I think her style is very readable, and there was, you know, like I said, a few problematic things here and there in the language and in the terminology, which of course you're going to encounter when you're reading a book that was written in another era. But yeah, overall, I liked it. So that was very fun. It was very fun to have my stamp on a BookTube required reading. Would you say? Yeah, I think that Rebecca is considered BookTube required reading. So if you haven't read it yet, get on it. And I'll be back again soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.